Hello everyone, my name is Awa. I want to disclaim that the title of the video is a bit misleading. In this video, I'm going to be using an exploit in offline mode. This exploit basically just wins the game for you. So depending on what you consider winning, the semantics and all that, maybe I am winning by winning. But the title of the video mostly serves as a joke. The thumbnail of this video is a joke I've been waiting for a reason to post as well. Like I've had this thumbnail idea for a while now. And if you guys know what this image is based off of, like the original image, I hope you guys get a laugh out of that too. And if I find it relevant in the future, I'll try to reuse the thumbnail. Of course, this is a bug and not an intended feature. So outside of doing it in skirmish maybe once or twice alone for your own personal enjoyment, I don't recommend really doing it. But yeah, if you guys saw my last video where I beat a legendary bot without getting any wood, you guys may have seen the fact that I mentioned that this wasn't actually my first take, the footage that was shown in the last video. It was actually my second take because my first take I randomly won. The settlement victory timer just popped up and randomly had me win the first take, and it even happens twice in the second take, but I managed to cancel it and win the normal proper way in the second time. So I said I would reverse engineer that, so that's what I did. Well, first I actually made subtitles for the video, which took a really long time, by the way. That was a whole 30-minute video where I yapped and yapped. So I had to make subtitles for that, and then I reverse engineered the bug. Of course, I've already submitted a bug report through the means by which all of us are supposed to submit a bug report. So hopefully they'll see that soon and fix it. But in the meanwhile, I decided why not have some fun with it? Make a YouTube video about it because this is actually pretty a significant bug. Although I wouldn't say this is my most significant bug I found yet. One time, I actually found a way to delete town centers. That's right, I'll show it on screen right now. It was when I believe I was testing AWAT Select, the Gaia version of that one specifically. I managed to find a way to delete town centers, and I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, with that out of the way, I'm going to see how fast I can activate this bug that just automatically causes you to have settlement victory and win, just to see how practical it is to appear. Since I did explain that this bug occurred to a different friend, and they said, the conditions to set it up seem really specific and unlikely to occur in a normal match. But you guys saw in recording, it literally happened 2 times in the second attempt and caused me to win the first attempt. So I'm going to be speed running, trying to get it to happen and win off it to see how practical it is. Unfortunately though, the more practical it is, the worse this means, and hopefully they'll patch it sooner. Just like in the last video, the gameplay footage is going to be sped up just to not to bore you guys. And even then, I'll still try and be talking while it happens, but it won't be like a live commentary or anything. You guys can see here that the settings are all basically standard, the same as usual. The enemy opponent will be a legendary bot, of course, because that's what I usually play against. And both our pantheons will be random. And as usual, I choose a vanilla map for these videos so I don't get any accusations of using one of my own maps and those having a bias advantage towards me. Even though the only map that will recognize me and give me an unfair advantage will be the AWAT April Fool's event. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty standard stuff. I just start my rollout and find the lay of the land. I really do enjoy scouting, and that's why I like the unknown map. It's going to be mostly random. You may start to recognize some of the patterns it generates in if you play it too much, but that's why I don't, so I don't start recognizing them. Honestly, I like the unknown much more than land unknown, because honestly, some people hear that the unknown may have water and they get scared of it, right? They're like, oh no, it's gonna have water, it's gonna be a water-based map. But honestly, the unknown only ever gives you like splashes of water here and there. Like on this map, it only gave me puddles, which I think land unknown can actually give you puddles as well sometimes. Unless they've changed that. It's been a while since I played land unknown, since I preferred the unknown. But yeah, the most water I've seen the unknown actually generate was like a water bridge in the middle, but even then there were several land entrances. So even though the unknown says it has water sometimes, it's hardly any water. And honestly, it's so little water, I honestly still just consider it a land map. At most you got some fishing areas, but that's about it. You're not likely to be getting to naval combat on the unknown map. And it happens so rarely that if you do get to naval combat on the unknown map, then I honestly consider it a treat with how infrequent it is. Like it's not frequent enough to be annoying. Speaking of, this is the first time I've seen any of the vanilla biome changing maps, which is like the unknown or nomad, they have biome changing features. This is the first time I've seen it feature the Aztec jungle. So I appreciate them including that as a possible option to generate, since in the game natively there actually is no maps that use Aztec jungle assets. Or if you look in the game's files, it's technically called Aztec Marsh. But yeah, I really like the unknown, and I decided to pick it today because usually I'm playing the standard map pool, but I'm sure many of you guys have already seen that enough times. Since even though I'm a casual channel that focus more on, single player content, variety, and fun, I wouldn't doubt that a good bit of viewers still do play a lot of ranked, and therefore they'll see probably the same few maps a lot. So hopefully I'm giving some of you guys your eyes a break by showing different environments. I mean, you guys know I love the Unknown a lot. That in my mod for this game, I made a knockoff version called AWA Unknown. The difference is AWA Unknown, doesn't have any biome restrictions. It just places a random tree of random terrain, mostly random. I did limit it to some degree so that would mostly make sense. So you wouldn't get like a snow map in a desert land. Honestly, the whole process behind creating that map was terrible. I was feeling a little silly, so I made that map generate entirely based off of coin flips, and as a result, it does achieve a lot of visual stuff different from the normal Unknown. But that's mostly a matter of it randomizing its assets independently as opposed to being biome based. Realistically, though, I think the Unknown is way better gameplay wise, honestly. Even Land Unknown, which restricts itself a little bit more, is way better gameplay wise than AWA Unknown. AWA Unknown is mostly for the visual vibes, like getting peach blossom trees in either the snow or the grass versions, which I'm not sure if that can happen on the Unknown, but as opposed to that, the Unknown has actually proper randomization of the terrain, so you can get like crazy cliff maps, which sometimes the cliff maps actually work against you because I've seen some really buggy generation. But either way, I think it's an amazing marvel of coding, and I really like it. Oh, let me talk about the attack first. You guys can see that I'm gonna defend the first attack with absolutely nothing. Like all I did was upgrade the towers, and honestly, pretty bad plan against the Greeks because they are so strong they can just pummel through you. Especially Zeus infantry, which are extra effective against buildings. So using a building as a crutch to defend yourself probably not a good idea. But either way, though, you guys saw I spent nothing on defenses. I'm getting a fat eco boost right now. That's something I really love to do with Atlantean is play like a fat, greedy jerk. One of my friends taught me a much more responsible build order for Atlanteans, specifically Oranos and Kronos. They're a very supportive and good player, amazing teammate to have. But for some reason, I feel allergic towards build orders and I kind of just make stuff up as I go. So I kind of forgot it like 2 days after they taught me, and what I'm doing right now is like a really bad imitation of what they taught me, but it's still working for the most part though. But I think they got it down better. Anyway, since there's no more action, I'm going to go back to my last subject. AWA Unknown is generated purely off of coin flips. Like literally the entire map is generated off of coin flips. Like it was a disaster coding wise, but I was a super coding amateur at the time and I was just having fun and I thought it was pretty funny to make something with nothing but coin flips. But looking back now, it was regrettable and it did limit me on a few things. Also, not to mention doing that makes its file size super bloated. Like it's 280% larger than my second largest custom map. And my second largest custom map is actually large because it's super complex, not because it's bloated like AWAT Unknown. The map, of course, being AWAT split, by the way. But yeah, if I made it again today with the experience I know now, I probably could achieve a lot more consistency in the randomization and also make the terrain much more varied. Like I already experimented with it if a what select with how you can get randomized forest types in that mode or custom map, sorry, not mode. And I was like, yeah, I could definitely take this a lot further if I wanted to, but I decided not to. But anyway, that's enough talking about my mod. I should probably talk about the actual game since we're trying to induce a bug here. Sorry, I just be going on the most random tangents. Oh wait, they're already back. Ooh, that's fast. But that's legendary bots for you. They be jumping you really often. I've noticed a lot of units, like myth units, get used as siege as opposed to normal units by the AI. Most noticeably, I noticed the Hydra in the Greek AI, it just has just the one on screen right now, it's using itself as a siege unit as opposed to an anti-infantry unit, even though the Hydra would be absolutely monstrous if it was anti-infantry as opposed to focusing on being a siege unit. Because they otherwise micro their units, very well. They make sure to micro their units to the proper counters. So for example, if they have a counter archer, they're definitely going to focus on your archers with those units. I think this starts with Titan difficulty and up. I'm not sure if it happens at lower difficulty since I really haven't played them since my first like 10 hours in this game. But yeah, it feels like a waste for them to stick things like the battle boar or the Hydra on buildings as opposed to units, since especially the Hydra would get so much more benefit and heads and other things from attacking units. I saw on Reddit someone's currently doing a daily post to hopefully get them to fix water maps, since the AI is not a big fan of water maps. And honestly, that's the reason why I avoided making custom water maps in my mod. But yeah, you'll see me, I usually put hybrid water instead because they can function on that. Oh, look, there we go. I activated the settlement victory. I got too off topic there. I'm sorry. I was excited to talk about random things, but yeah, I went off his attacks and I noticed that he wasn't attacking anytime soon. And I had the Oracle on the corner on purpose to see his corner backwards safe town center. So I kind of have an idea of what he's up to. So I decided to go ahead and claim the 4 town centers and start the settlement victory bug that I, reverse engineered from the last video. And you can see that I'm getting settlement victory right now, even though very clearly you can see that I don't even own all the settlements map. You clearly see he has one in the corner, and obviously I haven't even scouted his home settlement yet, so how could I claim it? So it's a pretty funny bug. You know, doesn't make sense by all means. And then he activated bronze here. I tell my friends each time, stall out bronze, don't fight it, don't take a fight. But in this case, I'm actually going to fight the bronze. Yes, that's right. Normally, I run away from bronze and stall it out, but this time, this is the one time I'm going to stall it, actually. Since right now, what I'm focused on is stalling for the timer. The timer in this scenario takes priority over bronze, but if I was playing normally, of course I would stall out the bronze by sending 1 unit in at a time. But the timer is counting down soon. This fight's actually terrible. Usually I micro much better, like you'd see me putting the Terma on their Toxotes right now. But I really don't care since I know this force is going to be enough to and that's it. I win without properly winning. I win by the game just breaking. Um, yeah, that's something. For the purpose of not getting Microsoft mad at me, I'm not going to be teaching anyone how to reproduce this, but yeah, that's pretty funny. We found this in the last video. Oh man, the bronze icon's just glitching out in the corner there. But yeah, you guys saw that I shouldn't have received settlement victory because he clearly still has 2 of his settlements, so I don't know what that was about. And you guys saw at the beginning of the video, all the conditions were otherwise a standard match condition, so an interesting bug. Just wanted to make a video on it, but I guess I got kind of carried away this video and started yapping. Subtitles for this video, it's gonna be a bit late because I'm gonna be very busy this weekend. I'm sorry. Gosh, how can someone without a job be so busy? But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the yapping. Yep. And as usual, hope you have a great day.